Hi, this is Vanessa and Lisa from Mindfulness-Based Achievement, the new MBA, teaching you how to lean in without burning out. You know that feeling when you say yes to something and then immediately regret it? Whether it's volunteering for a committee or agreeing to pick up the slack for a sick colleague at work, we've all faced a situation where we want to be a team player or we're kind of afraid of upsetting someone else, so we say yes when what we really mean is no. So there's some research that sheds light on this situation. Research conducted by a PhD professor of economics at the University of Pittsburgh found that women are more likely than men to do three things. 1, volunteer to do non-promotable tasks. 2, be asked to do non-promotable tasks. And 3, say yes when asked to do non-promotable tasks.
Women are overcommitted in a lot of ways and tend to feel the psychological burden when asked to do someone a favor. Part of this research showed that while considering how to respond to a request, 31% of women felt worn out or worried or concerned and had difficulty saying no. In comparison, less than 10% of men felt this way. Men, in contrast, were concerned with whether it was a good use of their time, whether it would help their career, and whether the person that was asking the favor would owe them a favor in the future. What can women do to get out of this pattern? Well, they can say no and say no with ease. The first step is starting small. To begin, start with something small and practice saying no there. So once you've refused to do something small, you'll see that people don't hate you, that life goes on and the world continues turning. Recently, my mom wanted to go to a gem show. I know, a gem show. But I knew it would make her happy, and I didn't want to upset her and disappoint her, but I needed to stick to my truth, so I said no. And I didn't give any excuses about being busy or having something else to do. I just said no. I can't join you this weekend for the gem show, but I look forward to seeing you next weekend. The thing is with saying no is that when you practice on the little things, it becomes easier to say no to the bigger request. Now it's in our code for when we have something that we need to say no to. We call it a gem show.
Yeah. The second step is to trust your body. So if something feels heavy in your body or it just feels wrong inside you, then you should probably say no to that request. If, on the other hand, you feel light and free when considering it, then probably say yes. So learn how to recognize your own internal signals and ignore the pressure that other people put on you. I had one client who was, volunteering on this nonprofit board, and she felt like it was really important and it was a cause she cared about and it was building her resume, but she was totally exhausted. She had a long commute. She just didn't want to do it anymore. And so finally, she took the step and resigned from the board. And she said as soon as she did, it was like a huge weight was lifted.
So the third step to saying no with ease is to practice awareness and compassion. Recognize that it's normal to be worried about someone not liking you if you refuse their request. Feeling guilty or afraid, this is just totally normal, and understanding that will help have compassion for yourself. Many times we keep saying yes even when we're exhausted and simply don't have the time because of these fears and beliefs. But you know what? They don't go away overnight, and they require practice to shift.
The fourth step is don't apologize and be short and confident in your no. So say no up front. Don't be wishy-washy. There's no need to say, I'm sorry, when your answer is no. You haven't done anything wrong. Instead, create what we call an appreciation sandwich. So start with an appreciation, then say no, and then finish with an appreciation. So you can start off, for example, by saying, I appreciate you for reaching out, and I can see that it's important to you to find support as you build this business. However, I won't be able to get together in person at this time. I wish you luck as you expand your business. I actually got one of these appreciation sandwiches directly from Brene Brown when I reached out to her for an interview for Forbes. And it was the kindest no I've ever heard. It made me want to work with her even more, and it left a really good impression. So when you feel bad or uncertain about saying no, it actually makes the situation more awkward. People respond to your guilt. Whatever you're putting out, that's what they respond to. They're more likely to push back and try to convince you to change your mind if you come off as uncertain. So be clear and concise and confident with your no. This is even easier if you say no up front, rather than having to back out of a commitment after you said yes.
The fifth thing you can do to say no with ease is to start a no club. Peer support is incredibly powerful. You can get together with a group of friends and discuss what you've said no to and hold each other accountable in situations going forward. Check in with this group at least once a month, but maybe even at the beginning of each week.
So one bonus tip is to focus on your yes. It's a lot easier to say no to something when you have a clear picture of what you want to say yes to instead. So for example, if you're invited to an event over the weekend that you feel like you should attend, but you'd rather stay home and take a bath and read your favorite book, well, picture that when you go to tell the person no. And be clear and confident and envision what you'll say yes to instead.
So now that you're aware of the research that women are asked to do more non-promotable tasks at work, women volunteer more for these mundane tasks, and then they also say yes more than men do.
And you also know that you're not alone, and you have the power to change this pattern immediately. So we'd love to hear from you. What is one thing that you really want to take off your plate right now and say no to today? Let us know in the comments below what you said no to and how it felt.